Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. Okay, so today I will be presenting about my action research. Okay, this is my finding. So my title is Action Research. Okay, to understand students' perception and also preparation for scientific practical examination. Okay, as we all know that the new syllabus of KSSM curriculum standard sekolah menengah, okay, students are required to do an individual scientific experiment. Okay, so this action research, this best research, basically just a survey. Okay, to get to know what is my student thought. First question that I write in the questionnaire is whether to survey, whether to know whether my students are attentive, whether they need to do the experiment or not. Okay, and as you can see, almost more than half, okay, almost 71% of them are attentive, required to do the experiment individually. Okay, and there is a small portion of no. I think it's about 9%, something like that, and there are quite a large number, 20% of not sure. I'm not really sure why they are choosing that. And then the next question, I want to know whether my students are literally, do they know that because this survey is being distributed to the only science stream students, okay, which means that they will be sitting for physics, chemistry, and also biology. And I want to know whether they really know that they will be sitting for this examination, this practical examination, in one day. As you can see, that majority of them, almost half, 46%, do not know that they will be sitting for this practical examination in one day. Okay, and there is a quarter, about 27 that know. Okay, and only a little bit or small portion who is unsure. So the next one is I want to survey, I want to get an insight which subject that my students will prefer to study before the day of practical examination. As you can see, that the first choice here is obviously chemistry, because a lot of students choose chemistry as their first subject to study, followed by biology. Okay, you can see the mode here at a second. And the least preferred subject is the physics. Okay, so luckily I'm teaching biology, so I'm in the middle, like, yeah, it's not too bad, it's not too good. And this is a general question. Okay, it is not really specific to any type of subject, but this question is to get to know why they choose the first subject to study first, regardless of whether it is chemistry, physics, or biology. Okay, so the majority of the reason is because they thought that the subject is difficult for them. Okay, you can see here almost 31%. And the second highest is they need to put more attention on the subject. Okay, what does it mean by put more attention here? Is they think that the subject is not hard, but they think that they need to put more attention on the subject. So the subject is somewhere neutral for them. It's not too hard, it's not too difficult for them, but they need to put more attention for that subject. Okay. And you can see that here some of the third reason, because they love the subject. Okay. And then the fourth one is because the subject they choose to study first is related with their future bachelor degree or career choices, which is very good. I think my students have some kind of planning for their future. Okay. And the last one, because they think that the subject is the easy. Okay, so next question. I want to know what is the reason of them choose or pick the last subject to study in general. Okay, so basically this question is quite general. It's not really specific on any subject. Okay, and as you can see, the most profound reason, okay, because the student thought that they pick the last subject because the last subject is quite difficult for them, so they choose it to study at last. Okay, you can see that it is almost 40 percent. And then the second highest reason, because they thought the subject is easy for them, and there are quite large portion of other reason. Okay, this other reason is actually a combination of more than one reason. Okay, some of highest is because they need to put less attention on the subject, and the last one, okay, 7.7%, okay, because they don't like the subject, which is quite sad. Okay, and I want to ask them whether they agree, whether they think that this practical examination really need to be conducted in one day. So majority of them said no. Okay, almost this is the highest percentage that I can get, like every 6%, which is quite high. Okay, almost like 55 out of the 65 students. Okay, and only like a small portion of students who answer yes. I think the second last question. Okay, I want to know what is the biggest challenge for them. Okay, so I list out the four main reason that I thought that will be biggest challenge for them, and majority for them answered that because of the time constraint. Okay, because they think that the three experiment that they will be doing is not going to be finished on the time. Okay, and the second highest is some of them are afraid because people are might watching doing their experiment, and some they might thinking that they are doing something wrong. Okay, and the third highest is because some of them did not know how to handle the apparatus and materials individually, because majority of the experiment that we do in MRSM is by group. Okay, not really individually. Okay, and only a small portion. The last reason is because they thought that not enough preparation. Okay, what is the strategy? I asked them what is the strategy. Okay, they already know the difficulties, the some complication. The majority of them answer that they prefer to do an intervention with the teacher. Okay, so this shows that teachers still plays an important role in students' practical examination, although we are not really familiar with the format yet, but we are here to help you students. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, and 26%, the second highest, they will go through some of the experiments that are available in the textbook, and the third highest, they prefer to do a few study group with their friends, and the last one, the fourth one, is prepared by studying alone. Okay, the other reason is basically it's not really something that I want to include. It is not really showing a percentage there. I want to know what is the relation between the male gender and also the preferential first choice science subject. As you can see, for male, I think there are about 22 students who are 20 to 25, I cannot remember really. Majority of male, they prefer to study physics first over chemistry and biology, okay, which is somehow correlated with other studies from other country as well, okay, from Israel, from Scotland. Next one, oh, this one is shows a lot of difference, okay. Basically, female students or respondents, they prefer to study chemistry over physics and biology. Only a small portion, only a 12% that prefer to study physics as their first choice. Okay. Somehow still correlated with the study that I managed to find in the literature review from Scotland and Israel. Okay, so I think basically the thinking of these students are just the same, regardless of where their locations is. Okay, thank you for listening to my presentation.